Good morning. Jesus saves. So I'm just brushing up, doing some things. Doing. What JP at? JP always say, what you doing now, Sheri? What you doing now? I did want to do some wings on my eyes. Let's see if I can do it. A lot of times, um, trying to get that mess on camera. I remember we used to draw a regular pencil on our on top of our eyelids, regular eyeliner. Yep. I don't know if people still do that. Do people still do that? Draw the regular eyeliner instead of the liquid? Because the liquid is kind of complicated. I'm about to see if I can put some on there. I got a mirror on this side. Okay. Do alright? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't worry about it. Because if you mess up, you can always go back with a Q-tip and get it off. And, yeah. This one trying to be difficult. I ain't worried about it. So, everybody got hangovers? Turn up for Jesus! Turn it up, turn it up! Hangovers? Jesus hangovers? I hope so. Turn up for Jesus! Turn it up, turn it up! Anyway, the wind is blowing. So I had these things that my mama gave me that used to make my house look like it was a rich house. And a few of them been kicked down, bust down, and sometimes the wind do it by itself. So I've been holding on to them because they're unique. And I'm thinking about just going to the flower place and getting me two more. Because I see them at like the McDonald's. Not McDonald's. It's something. It's a company that used to be on. I'm talking about Hampton, Virginia. It used to be by the Plasma Center, Plasma Care, and they did flowers and little things you set in front of your house in the back of your yard and stuff like that. So basically, yeah. So y'all just gonna stare. Good morning to you. Cheaters never win. Be respectful. Say good morning. Hello. How you doing? Jesus saves. I mean, you just get in the chat all the time. Just sit there and stare at somebody trying to steal somebody's idea. Well, go steal that. It's owned by me. I got the papers for it. And turn up for Jesus. And wake up with Jesus. And one of the little Jesus kids. And covered by the blood. Don't make no sense. How y'all come up here all the time, stern and stern and stern. I ain't going nowhere. Even though if you go and run over to your channel and start you a quick video, Miss M, South Carolina. Our HRT work every day over here. Hampton Roads Transit work every day. And we got a New York bus to come here 2-3 times a day. We got Greyhound. Okay? We got everything you need to know over here in Virginia. Virginia is what? India. Maybe that's why I ain't been nowhere. Went nowhere but New York and Philadelphia. in Washington, D.C., when I was little, real little. My Uncle Ezel. I don't know how, I just remember I was real little and we went somewhere. My Uncle Ezel. My Uncle Ezel, he owned a lot of property in Brownstown, down in South Hill, Virginia, where I was born at. But anyway, my cousins and all them, they got the money, they got the property, they got the houses. But what I'm trying to say is, it don't make no difference where you from. It's where you at. Okay, who you know, and guess who I know? Capital G-O-D, and who else? His son, my favorite friend, my best friend, my everything. Jesus. All right. And the reason I put a Z in there is to make it unique. You know, I'm very unique, and I put the number 3 in there. I put it in there twice. I ain't talking about 6. It's the Trinity, 3. And 123 is my favorite number. And that's in my email. My son made it up for me because he knows 123 is my favorite number. Because you can do a lot by the time you count to 1, 2, and 3. You know that, right? I think Michael Jackson sung a song about it, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, so it's Saturday, y'all. And I basically was sitting over here doing some of these working eyes. And for people that say that I don't work, I had that, said to me yesterday. I do volunteer work sometimes because God tell me to do stuff, like feeding people and just helping people for free, doing free stuff. But let me tell y'all something. I ain't no fool. Never been no fool. Okay? Ain't nobody gonna jump on a Jesus train. Something that God gave me in 2020. Jesus saves. Everything that I do and everything that I create comes from the Creator. His name is God, and His Son's name is Jesus Christ. And believe it or not, they put those ideas in my mind. They didn't put, so you like lips, hips, eyes, thighs, and feet, and all that stuff. They didn't put that in there. I did that for my subscribers that like sexy content, But do y'all know that Christians and people that know God do act and do things that people want them to do? For instance, the lady in Friday, remember? They always try to put her in a sex scene. They did it to Holly Berry, right? That doesn't mean they don't know God and they don't know Jesus, and they don't have a relationship with them, an intimate relationship with them. So for people to try to judge me, you can't. Too late. And it's in the Bible. You ain't supposed to try to judge nobody. God is the judge. The judge that sit behind in the courts is not even a judge. They just got that little thing. Order in the court. Order in the court. Order in the court. Order in the court. And then some of them got it in their office, and then some of them got the drink when they go in there, and they always trying to tell you that you wrong. You know more judges and lawyers, and it depends on what kind of lawyer, okay? You got to know your lawyers. We're not talking about lawyers that help you get your property back, because that's the type of lawyer I'm going to be. Get your property back, lawsuits like civil suits, like somebody defamation of character, or somebody steals something from you, or somebody steal your brand, try to steal your song. That's the type of lawyer I'm going to school for. I'm going to Harvard, Howard University for. Yeah, because I don't like people that steal people's stuff. I don't like criminal lawyers. I don't like them because they have to lie for liars. I don't like them. And that's why most of the time when I went to court and I just hold my hand, I talk to God, I tell them, God tell me to speak truth, right, and 10 commandments. That shall not lie, steal, kill, destroy, stuff like that. So if I did something wrong, I will say it. I've always said it, when I was in wrong. And that's the thing about me, I love about me. is I'm sincere, I'm honest, and I don't mind telling a person if I did something wrong, or if I wrong somebody, I would go back and say, I think I said something, wrong to you, or it was a mix-up, something happened, maybe, because this happened to me before, right? Like dominoes, like somebody got an attitude with me, and then I went like maybe like in a store, and I saw that I had an attitude with the cashier one time, and I said, wait a minute, the cashier didn't do anything to me. It was the person that just put me in that mood. And that's not bipolar, y'all. People can change your mood and your vibe. You got to make sure you protect your energy, because you have those people like blessing blockers, I call them. I got shirts coming out with that too. I've been saying that for years. They're called blessing blockers. They don't want you to be blessed, and they'll try to get in the way of a brand new or a good day that God is having. Like, for instance, I had this powerful, great day yesterday, right? And people see it. Why? Because they see it through my eyes. Because why? I'm doing content. And just like, I'm going to get back to what I was saying. This lady yesterday told me, uh, we all got jobs. And it's the third time they told me this. Well, volunteer. They said, we all got jobs. I find it offensive. Because YouTube is a job. It's a volunteer job until you get monetized, but you're still working. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm a homemaker. My son may not be here with me. My husband may not be in this house. I have 3 dogs. I do my own cooking, my own cleaning. My own washing clothes, folding clothes. That's work, y'all. Making my bed, grooming, doing my hair, makeup, my feet. That's tiresome. So the people that's getting the paper money, that go and pay for to get your nails done, and get your hair done, and buy your food, and get your feet done, and get your dog's nails clipped and groomed, well, thank God that you work. And you can constantly keep getting that done if you got it that good. But if I can do some things and God can bless me with gifts that He has given me, I am going to work on me. Okay? That's money. Just money. 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 Doing feet, doing nails, doing hair, cooking. Money. And I do it on YouTube. And if you got a problem with it, then go get you another volunteer. Because when somebody come to me and tell me, and because it look like I'm having fun over here doing content, it's work. You know how I know it's work? Because I used to watch these gamblers, right? And do the slots machines. And they were stressed out. Because a lot of times they had to go get content, and a lot of days they didn't even win. They lose money. They lose their YouTube check money on the machines trying to make content for you. That's why I unsubscribe to them. Okay? Because it's a backwards game. If you working for, make it make sense. You working for YouTube, and you do slots, and if you're not already a billionaire or a millionaire, have property like, for instance, Donald Trump and Eli, what them dang name? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Tesla. If y'all don't already have that money already stacked, then you going backwards, putting it in a slot machine, or shooting dice, or going to Rosie's, or playing pick 3, pick 4, or bingo. Yeah, I gave up gambling habits. But you know what I love? I love the fact that God gave me the gift and the gifts that everybody needs. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs their hair, their makeup done. That's called pampered. And what is it? It's called something else too. And everybody needs what? Most of all the gifts that God gave me. Yeah. And you know, and that's a fact. And the weird part about it is people are jealous because God gave me gifts. But you know why God gave me those gifts? Because He knew I wasn't gonna have any friends, and He knew that I'm a helper and I'm a compassionate person, and that I would do the same thing for a person, and money did never matter. And He knew that I would teach somebody how to do something instead of keep it all for myself. God knows who to give the gifts to, and you cannot be jealous, envy over what God gives a person. You know, I don't bury my gifts. Because see, people are always looking at stuff as money. As long as you pass the information on, and it's called what? The baton. Yeah, I used to run track, relay run. Okay, that's a baton. So as long as you constantly showing somebody else what God showed you, then what are you doing? You stacking your treasures in heaven. And that's something I've always done. Always. Always. You know? I'm not going to sit there and watch nobody suffer when I can tell them that God and Jesus help deliver, heal, and all that good stuff. You know, I would never keep that to myself, because why would I want to see somebody else in pain? And if I know how to do hair and makeup, and I know how to do nails, and I know how to do all these things, cook, why not teach somebody something like that? So they can save $20 or $30, so they can take their money and they can invest it in something that they like far as branding a t-shirt, or making hats, making crocheting blankets, um, whatever they want to do. Because when you learn how to do things for yourself, then you don't have to pay other people to do it for you. And you can't get mad at that. You can't get mad because God gives somebody more stuff. And then, like I said, I needed that stuff. Why? Because I don't have nobody doing my nails and my feet. But God sent the angel yesterday, Rob. Because why? I gave somebody a pair of shoes the other day, my red Nauticas. God always do stuff like that, y'all. And I thought about it. I said, I just gave the man the red Nauticas, and brand new pair of shoes came back. That's just how it goes, y'all. And you gotta watch that movie. I think it was Bruce Willis or some. Pay It Forward. It's true. It's true. Another movie too. I like, and Kendrick Lamar put it in his. He put it in his one of his songs. I See Dead People. Well, Bruce Willis, Sixth Sense. That's a real good movie. And if you watch Sixth Sense, it shows you a person that knows visions. And it's in the Bible, like where people's souls don't rest because they were killed. Because see, one girl, her mama poisoned her, was putting some in her food, and she kept throwing up, and she couldn't die until she tells somebody. And then, you remember the little boy? He got up on, I got chills. He got up under the little blanket and stuff like that. But see, that's a good movie. And see, that's how my mind worked. Like Sixth Sense, Passion of Christ, Apocalypse. So these are the type of movies that get my attention. I have ADHD. Black Panther, Green Mile. some people look at stuff that don't make no sense, but the things that I like is mystery and things that are real. The Green Mile is real. And then that man died, but that big guy, he had visions. Every time he would touch whoever he would touch, it would run through his body and it shows what that person do. That's called discernment. Okay, okay. In Apocalypso, remember the old lady they said that was crazy, that they let wander around in that crazy when they was snatching their hearts out, and then that little girl that told them, the Black Panther, no, Black Paul. He's the little girl had the burns on her face. Nobody was listening at them. They have visions, and they're in the Bible. See, I watch things like that. You know why? You know why I watch movies like that? Because great minds think alike. And when people can see things like that, they're drawn to things that what relate to them. Some other people, they just watch all types of movies. And I'll tell you another movie I like, 13 Ghosts. These are real things. Real things. Real things. And it's like visions, and it's in the Bible. So when you have discernment, y'all, don't let nobody steal your discernment. And stay away from people that try to steer you into hell. Because a lot of these people, and trust me, y'all, are false prophets. And I've been seeing it. And me and my son are very good at telling, and I guess because he came from me, telling who's fake and who's real. We used to go to all these different churches, and it was cults. It was cults. Like Jim Juice Jungle and the stuff, and the snakes and worship and stuff. You gotta be careful. Don't go to these churches where people, where the preacher sleeping with the deacon, and he's a male. Don't go to these churches, y'all. Okay, because you will end up in a cult where when you die, your soul going straight to hell because you was following them and not following God. And people wonder why, sometimes I go to different churches. Because if I get discernment, I see what's going on in a church, and especially if they're money hungry, and especially if they're not assisting you. For instance, I go to First Baptist, y'all, and they also on YouTube. It's 229 North King Street in Hampton, Virginia. The pastor is Todd Davidson. Okay. When I went out yesterday, I did a short round every building that was over there besides my church. You want to know why? Because every time I went to court, and I went to court with God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, I didn't have now one of my deacons or the pastor, nobody, come and put their hand up and say who I was. And I got baptized there June 30th last year. And it hurts. Your church supposed to be your family. My mother wasn't supposed to be in the courtroom every time, scared that something would happen to her daughter. Somebody from church supposed to have been in there and told them who I was. And I looked around and I see God and I see Jesus, and I know the Holy Spirit is in me. When I looked around to see the physical person that would be there for me, they was not there. First Baptist was not there. My deacons and everybody that I got baptized, I got a folder that I had to go to school for and study, was not there to defend me. And when I went over there and I filmed the safety building, and they were having the SWAT team out there in the Hampton City Jail, the Carmel Center, in the old courthouse, and then AME that said Jesus reigns, God reigns, REIGNS. I went right past First Baptist and didn't even have a problem with not filming them. You know why? Because nobody in that church had my back. And they across from every place that's trying to hurt me. They're dead in the center of every place that's trying to kill me. They took down Harbor Square, Old Town Apartments where I used to stay in. I used to look in the back of my window and see the two churches in the graveyard and the jails from my apartment, 5 West Pembroke, apartment F. I endured so much pain there, and I really didn't want to move at that apartment at all. And I seen people get killed. Newport News people came over there and killed so many Hampton people. I had to get myself from out of there. And I used to go to all these churches, and that's where I fell in love with First Baptist. I know every pastor that was there. The thing about it is, they were not there. And let me tell you what I love about Great Emmanuel Temple. My first love in Hampton, Virginia. 1225 North King Street. Michael Golden Jr. I was going to court and I was going to testify. My 90s baby killing me here in this house where I stay at. He killed me 2 times in this house. And I was going there and I saw Michael Golden Jr. And I said, hey, Pastor. I said, what you doing in here? He said, I had to go take care of one of my families. He was in the courtroom protecting somebody. Somebody was trying to get their property taken and their children taken, and he was in there. And that's what your pastors and your church family is supposed to do. Because that's family. At the end of the day, when your mother, your father, and your brother, and your sister is not there for you, your church is supposed to be there. And that's why, I would never leave Great Emmanuel Temple Kojic Church. And I would never leave Mason Memorial. And I would never leave Bethany Baptist Church. Let me tell you something. And I would never leave the Potter's house. And I would never leave In Touch Ministries. I have a lot more to name. But what hurt the most was First Baptist was not there for me. And all they had to do was walk next door to General District and to Circuit Court and say, Sheri is a member of our church. And she has told a few of us about her problems. And I'm just here on her behalf to say, we love her and we know that she wouldn't do anything wrong. Because she just got baptized last year. And she's been attending the church virtual, and she's been attending the church in body. And we've been secretly watching her on YouTube. Miss Maxine. I gave her my YouTube and my Meta. She's a church member, y'all. And the reason I'm crying is because I'm very emotional.
And it just hurt every time I see that big church, so big and strong, and the temple and the top of it, and where I got baptized is so big. And God had showed me something last year. Because the chief of the police that I called a year and a half ago, I asked him, I said, I need your help. I'm in Buckrow. My mother gave Miss Donna information, and she does the neighborhood watch. And I told her, I prayed, I talked to Jesus, tell these people to leave me alone. And so she gave me the chief and the mayor's number, and I got them in my phone. And they told lies. They still have not helped me. I'm so fucking tired of Hampton! Virginia! Because all you have done is hurt me since 1991! And I'm sick and tired of you. And I pray to God that He rained on Hampton, Virginia. And I pray to God, Almighty Jesus, that He reveal every crooked, bigot, and liar, and false prophets, and whoremonger, and bigots, and wrongdoer. And God, I ask you, in the name of Jesus, your Son, to convict everybody in Hampton, Virginia that has wronged me and have kept me from growing and kept me in this hell hole and has taken my shelter and my wealth, my brands, and everything that you have shown me. It has revealed to me in your Son Jesus Christ's name. And I plead the blood, because I'm covered by the blood. And I'm one of little Jesus' kids. And I wake up with Jesus. And Jesus saves.